Imagine living your best life and suddenly one of your friends comes up to you and tells you, I heard that you got AIDS. And then someone else comes to you. Oh, I heard that you became schizophrenic. And then someone else comes to you and tells you, oh, I heard that you became a sex addict and a drug addict. I heard that you became a drug addict. And all of a sudden, all of these rumors are coming back to you. I'm actually giving you my personal experience with the smear campaign because that is exactly what happened to me. I'm going to tell you everything there is to know about it, including the part where you get produced as much as possible to make the rumors a reality. There is so much behind the smear campaign that now that I think about it, gang stalking is the extension of the smear campaign because for me, the smear campaign began before the actual gang stalking started. The truth is that gang stalking is the extended version of the smear campaign. Let's call it the smear campaign plus. So, how the fuck does anyone recover from the smear campaign? I'm gonna be completely sincere with you. The truth is that the smear campaign is as powerful as you allow it to be because it only affects you if you pay attention to it. Notice how smear campaigns are done behind your back and nothing is ever told directly to you. The purpose of everything being behind your back is that so that you are unable to do anything about it. Typically, when the victim finds out, it is too late because the damage to your reputation is already done. However, not quite. That is what the perpetrators want you to believe because only if you believe that your reputation is ruined, the smear campaign will be a success because it will create a psychological disturbance. First, you have to understand that it is only the perpetrators who are spreading the rumor. And most people actually have common sense. The only way that anyone is going to believe what the rumors are saying about you is if you are successfully produced into behaving in the manner that makes the rumor true. I am not going to lie to you because I fell completely rounded onto that. Like I was the perfect target for that type of manipulation. When the rumors about me were spreading, I was already psychologically disturbed. It was immediately after the experience with the doctor. If you are new to my channel, I will put the link to that video in the description. It will sound incredibly unbelievable because the people are really committed to like destroy you. I don't know what it is, but the people that were part of my smear campaign were fucking committed. Oh my God. You are not gonna believe it, but look, you don't have to. I'm just gonna tell you my experience. The only safe space for any person who has been a victim of this type of harassment is on a platform like this. Not only because those whom have gone through a similar situation will find your video, but also you are technically profiting from what has been done to you. So I'm good. So now that we have that covered, I'm gonna tell you the insane and absurd smear campaign with all its little details. I'm warning you, it's gonna be explicit. It's gonna be nasty. And you might not believe everything that I say. But I'm telling you the truth. You can take it or leave it. But I will give you my experience with the most disgusting smear campaign you can possibly imagine. Here we go. So before we start, when this began happening to me, I was an innocent child. I was about 27 years old. And keep in mind that I am now 38. So the people that are in my smear campaign are fully and ridiculously committed. Oh, girl. It's so insane and so absurd. Oh my fucking God. First, after being in a 2-year relationship with someone whom I later discovered that was the biggest person with narcissistic personality disorder that I had ever met, my smear campaign began. Because as soon as I broke up with this person, all my dating app messages became about using drugs and having unprotected sex. All of a sudden, I began getting hundreds of invitations to engage in all of this. Hundreds. I'm not kidding you. It was insane. And you know, I have been on these apps long before I was getting gang stalked, long before this smear campaign, which is why I can tell you it was not normal. Never had I ever encountered so many offers to engage in unprotected sex and use drugs, and much less from the first point of contact. Immediately right off the bat, boom, pictures, boom, drugs. A lot of times I would be contacted. I would be sent all these pictures and invitations to PNP, and then they would never answer back. For real, like that's how I know that this wasn't normal, because I have been on those apps for years and never did I ever have that problem. I literally had to stop using any of that, and it just never stopped. I would log in, and as soon as I would log in, I would just get a bunch of messages, a bunch of invitations. It was insane. This went on for about 2 years before the actual gang stalking started. During these 2 years, I noticed some things that were very weird, such as people continuously inviting me, and when meeting, not actually engaging in any type of sex. I was continuously offered a lot of illicit substances during this time, like an absurd amount. How do you create a drug addict? You offer them a lot of pleasure and a lot of drugs. I'm not kidding you. And of course, I just fell right in it. And look, I am not trying to take away personal responsibility, but there is a huge difference from normal sex encounters and sex encounters that are meant to keep you high and to keep you horny. The ones that were actually meant to satisfy me were very satisfying. However, the ones that were meant to continue my smear campaign were never satisfying, were psychologically exhausting, confusing, and I ended up being significantly more horny than before I started. Those types of encounters were not meant to be satisfying. They were meant to make me tired. They were meant to get me higher, and they were meant to leave me confused and hornier. The only times where I was actually satisfied were the times where I ended up just going to LA, I did my thing, and I came back good and satisfied. I literally had to move to go to another city. And even when I wasn't actively looking, I went on the app to chat, I was bombarded with messages. Hey, do you want to smoke? Hey, do you want to do this? And when I would actually get to engage with these people on the app, I would get ignored. By that, I know that a lot of these interactions were only there to get me going so that I would behave in a self-destructive manner. These people were fucking committed. I'm gonna tell you some of the things that were actually done during these encounters. First, if I was bottoming, we would never get to it. For real. If I was topping, there would be the worst bottoms you could possibly imagine, where they would continuously move. I'm not gonna lie to you, there were some times where I was fucking mad, where I was like, dude, can you like stop wiggling like a worm? For real. And the thing is that this would happen and I would just not get satisfaction. I wouldn't. It would just get you higher. So I had to end up getting myself off like 6 or 7 times in order to calm down. It was something absurd. It is because of this same reason that I haven't topped anyone comfortably for about the past 2 years, even more. And let me tell you, I'm a top. I'm verse top. But in order to like satisfy that drive, I've had to like just bottom. And even so, being a bottom, it was like once every 2 years that I would like actually like finish the deal, if you know what I'm saying, where I would end up like a Twinkie. It would be like once every 2 years. So I was hungry all the time. And let me tell you, that literally just kept me on the app. So like I was on the fucking app for like hours and hours just to like, live the fantasy. So that in itself led me to like just talk to a lot of people with the intent of getting produced, of becoming some type of bottomless hungry pit. And let me tell you, that shit worked, because there I am, messaging people. And I guess I just built that reputation from that tactic. It worked. It worked. I was known as the hungry bottomless pit, I guess, or whatever. I don't care. What people think of me isn't of my business. But that's what happened. So word got around, and I apparently became this like bottomless hungry pit. And it's fine, whatever. So then, I'm not gonna lie, that shit was awful, because I was always hungry, It is what it is. And whenever I would be like just online, I would get hit up by a lot of people, literally just saying the message, breed me. or I would just get dick pics, and I would get like the cloudy emoji. Like that's all I would get. And I would get pulled into it. And when I would be like, oh yeah, sure, let's play, I would get ignored. So that happened everywhere for years. And look, I laugh about it because, that's about it. That's what happened. But in the moment, when you're hungry, you're fucking hungry. And it sucks. It sucks when that's being done to you. But if you are someone who is psychologically weak, that shit will get to you. Because you're being fed this narrative that no one wants to play with you. But the truth is that there is an active intent of messaging you and then just cutting you off. That's exactly what happened to me for years. The truth is that I have always known who I am. I have always been very secure, regardless of what has gone on around me. Like, I'm the type of person that doesn't give a fuck about what other people talk about, because what people think of me is none of my business. But I stopped all of that behavior when those rumors were getting into my business. That should affected my work. And when it began doing that, I literally had to stop all of that behavior. And as soon as I stopped all of that behavior, all the drugs, everything, the gang stalking stopped. Not because the drugs stopped, but because I stopped engaging with people. The truth is that when you are any type of dating app, or when I was on those dating apps, I was mercilessly hit up by people with the intention of turning me on and then just cutting me off. Like that is most of my gang stalking operation. Letting me on, turning me on, getting me all turned on and all horny, and then, leading me into using drugs and then just cutting me off. Like that was the whole intention of my gang stalking operation. It is literally that simple. But if you're someone with a weak character, that can destroy you. It literally can. Because you're being fed this narrative of you're a drug addict and you're constantly looking for sex. So if I didn't know who I was, I would believe this narrative. And the truth is that it got to the point where I would hit up people that I would actually have fun with. But then when these people hit me up and I said, oh, I'm good, I'm not horny, these people would reply to me, oh, did you already have a hole full of cum? That would be the reply. And that is when I was like, who the fuck do you think you're talking to? Shut the fuck up. And then I would like immediately block them, because that is fucking rude. And I confronted these people. So that is when I got to realize, holy shit, this has gone way out of hand. This rumor actually got out hard and I didn't even realize it. So the fact that I know who I am and the fact that I know what I have done and what I haven't, that point is what led me to like move back for real. Because here I was just working on this channel, this is what I wanted to do. But I didn't realize that that it had gotten so bad. So when the point was where it had gotten so bad, where everyone believed this narrative about me, because I was successfully produced, into messaging, all these people. But when their demeanor changed towards me was when I was like, okay, shit, this is like gone hard. But this is the thing, is that I am extremely well versed in people with narcissistic personality disorders. I am extremely well versed in all of that. I studied it during the pandemic. So I know that a smear campaign is only as true as you allow it to become. But everything can be undone super easy. What do? You demonstrate via your actions, via what you say, via what you do, and most powerfully, via social media, who you really are. You show your face and you literally behave in a way that is true to your narrative. Because as long as you keep believing the narrative that is being fed to you by these people, you are a victim. But when you take charge of the situation, then the narrative that was pushed onto you is no longer true. The reason that I stayed in San Diego and I lived through the entire gang stalking experience is because I wanted gang stalking experience. And then live that and then make money off that. And help people while doing it. That was my plan. Welcome to the Mind's Eye, previously known as the Gang Stalking Playbook. In this channel, we talk about the mind, and I share with you techniques on how to use your mind's eye in order to be the best version of yourself. If you are new here, you probably have no idea who I am and have absolutely no reason to believe anything that I say, which is fair, I understand. However, I challenge you to give my techniques an honest try. Try the programming. You have absolutely nothing to lose and everything to gain. When the programming works for you, subscribe, give me a like, write me a comment, or share with your loved one. I will be eternally grateful to you. Now, we're going back to the video. So, if you just happen to be someone who was part of my gang stalking, hello, welcome. I hope you stay and watch the show. So, how do you deal with the smearing of your reputation? You simply build it back. The truth is that the only ones that are gonna try to maintain the negative reputation of you are the people that want to see your demise, which are the people that shouldn't matter what they think of you. Only the people that have the intention of destroying you are the people that are going to be pushing the negative narrative about you. And the people that truly know who you are the ones that are going to be able to see behind the veil. The people that want to destroy you are the ones that are going to keep saying, you're crazy, you're schizophrenic, you're a liar, that shit didn't happen. And that's all there is to it. The gang stalking smear campaign is a smear campaign that just keeps on going, but it can only keep going as long as you allow it to. I honestly let my smear campaign go way too long. But then I just decided that it's time for me to take my life by the reins. So I had to make some changes. The truth is that my smear campaign itself was a thing that was meant to keep me a drug addict, which is why I was constantly hit up by drug addicts. Drug addicts that wanted my demise were continuously looking for me and inviting me to use drugs and inviting me to have sex, but never gave me the satisfaction, with the intent of having me stay up and look for actual satisfaction. That was my smear campaign. So smear campaigns are only as powerful as you allow them to be. So if you are a targeted individual who is known to be crazy, first you have to analyze your situation. You start by checking your surroundings. How heavy is my gang stalking situation? Is it happening at work? Is it happening at the gym? Is it happening around my block? If it is a situation where it is very dense, like mine was incredibly dense, I left town for that same reason. That's also why I do not use any type of hooking up apps. I realized that what was keeping me on those apps was my environment. So I just had to move myself away from that environment into a complete new environment. And let me tell you, that was the best choice I have ever made. I knew I was gonna get to that point, but I thought I was gonna be able to handle it a little longer. But that was not the case. The moment that my Nintendo Switch got stolen, that was where I was like, oh, no, I'm leaving. I'm done. So if you are experiencing a smear campaign, you do the following. Who is coming to me? Everyone that comes to you with a rumor that is being told about you. You tell them, I don't give a fuck, and please don't tell me shit that people talk about behind my back. Because what people think about me is none of my business. You thank the person that gave you the heads up. You use that information as a guide. What are they saying about you? Sex addict, drug addict, drunk, hoarder, whore, whatever it is. All you do is ask yourself, am I actually behaving in a manner that perpetuates that perception? So you think about it. And then if you are, you just behave in a way that doesn't do that. In my case, when I made myself that question, I realized, oh shit, this is why people believe this about me. People that actually do matter to me. So when that happens, then you see, why have I been behaving this way? And then you see if there is actually any intent of making you behave this way. For me, it was the invitation to sex, invitations to use drugs without the relief. So then I simply just stopped trying because I can and I'm good. That's it. So that's exactly what I did. And now you ask, how are these people getting access to How are these people getting access to me? To me, it was Grindr and Sniffies. So just close, delete profile, that's it. And now you just focus on living your best life and you keep an eye out. And it's that simple, to be honest. It's really simple and really easy. The thing is that dependent on how you see yourself can be the toughest aspect of this is if your identity of self is interdependent of other people. I have always been a person that is solid in who I am. However, there are people whose identity is dependent on their closest group of friends. And if your closest group of friends are actively pushing this rumor about you or this smear campaign, then you literally have to step off because those people are toxic. And you have to block them from every single way these people have access to you because they're only trying to get bullets. And even though I say this jokingly, if I would have not known better, my smear campaign could have probably finished me because that was the intent, is to keep me addicted and to keep perpetuating a bad reputation of myself. Not only that, but because of the gang stalking, it was intended for me to already have that reputation and then blast online. Oh my God, I'm getting followed. Oh my God, people are whatever, I'm getting gang stalked, blah, 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 blah. And since already my reputation of being a whore, of being a drug addict, and of being a cum-hungry demon whore, it would further cement the rumors that are already out there about me. The truth is that I know what happened, and the people who are worth my time are people that are too busy being successful and living their best life, which I am part of. So they don't have time for petty rumors because, like me, they stay away from those types of people. I made the mistake of lingering around too many toxic people for too long. But the truth is that the smear campaign is destructive if you think it is. If you keep focusing on what they're saying about you. But remember that the they that are your enemies are people that really shouldn't matter to you. The only ones that matter to you are the ones that lift you up. The ones that are trying to bring you down are the ones that you should cut off immediately. Use the rumors as a clue to lead you in the direction of where is shit coming from. Where is this shit coming from? And once you find out, you just cut off those toxic people. And that's it. You just get busy with people that are worth your time. And you stay away from those people that are pushing the negative smear campaign narrative. And that's it. All right. Thank you so much for watching. Have a good one.